is Natika McPherson. I am Gregory's wife. I am originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I was born and raised. I moved to North Carolina for the second time about a little over 3 years ago because I just loved it here so much. So I have 3 boys, 3 granddaughters, which I'm very blessed, very proud of. I have been blessed to be able to also help my husband with his work because my job is work from home. So I've been able to help him as he does what he does. I was married one time before. I was married for 20 years and that relationship ended. And I had no idea that I would be married again, especially so quickly, but here I am now, so that's me.
And this is me. My name is Gregory. Everybody call me Greg, Gregory, Mobile Mac, Big G, whatever you want to call it. I'm 36 years old. Been doing it here in Kannapolis since I was about 10 years old. This is the Mobile Mac shop. This is what I do. This is my bread and butter. I also DJ. I met her about 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, at the shop, here at the shop, and somebody had messed up her son's car, so he brought it to me. And I didn't know why, but I'm just glad. I don't ask no questions. You know how bro man is on Martin, open that jacket. Hey, you want it or not? Don't ask no questions. But anyway, she came through, we talked, and seems like from that day forward, that was it. I knew she was the one. I was married too, in a relationship for about 12 years, and I figured I was gonna get married again because that's the type of person I am. I'm a family person. I just knew it had to be with the right one. I couldn't just settle for anything, you know what I mean? When you give and take in each relationship, but at the same time, nobody's perfect. But it's just what we're able to deal with. When I found her, I knew it was a wrap, it was over. I turned in my black book.
Like he said, when we met, it was through work because my son's car was messed up. And when I pulled up to his shop, I told some people this before we got married, but when I pulled up to his shop, I don't know why, I don't know what in me kind of sparked it, but I texted my girlfriend and I said to her, I think I met my real life husband. My last marriage was just a practice. So she kind of laughed, and that was that. I never said anything because I'm not an assertive female when it comes to males. As a matter of fact, I've never dated a stranger, if you would. It was always somebody that I knew through somebody or somebody that I grew up with. So I said that to myself, and the next day when I came to pay for my son's car, I was hoping and praying that he said something to me because I knew I wasn't going to say anything to him. And he did, so I was super excited about that.
Me too.
We already discussed that we're gonna be very real and candid because I know a lot of people, including myself, have thoughts and ideas about relationships and what you should expect and all of those things. But one thing I learned through meeting Gregory is that you never know. You just never know. But the best thing to do is go with what you feel is right in your heart, regardless of what outside people have to say. Just go with what you feel. Like I said, when I met Gregory, I had never met a stranger before. So we met. The next day is when he asked, about my phone number and things. So we started exchanging in conversation. Within 4 days, we did have a sexual encounter.
Damn,
which was very much out of the norm for me. Of course, 4 days, you're like,
me too,
what
y'all.
in the world?
It was out of the norm for me because I was saving myself. I don't know what happened.
You don't want people to think things of you, or you have these ideas in your mind. But we're just being honest because that's what's important today. People need to know the real of it. So that happened, and guys, to be honest, from that day forward, we've spent almost every day and night together, with the exception of emergencies or things that came up. But I just felt in my heart that it was the right thing to do, that it was okay. I knew what I grew up with. I grew up in the church, so I knew that technically if you're having sex before marriage, that is looked down upon. But I felt okay with it in my heart. I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything that you don't feel is right. But I'm saying for myself, I felt comfortable, so I moved forward with it. And we actually probably moved in together unofficially maybe 7 days after we met.
Don't believe it, y'all. Tell me, don't believe it.
And tell them why you're saying don't believe me.
Because it ain't true. I can give you my previous address. I can tell you it ain't true.
So he said to me one day, maybe a month after we met, that he had talked to his sister about moving in with me. And that he finally felt like he was comfortable with it, so we wanted to make that move. And my response was simply, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. At that point, though, he had not left from the day that he came to spend the night the first night. So whether his ID had that,
I actually left, but you know, she just mean when I got off work, you know what I'm saying? She lured me into the house with some chicken, you know, and then I just got full, and it was a wrap.
Every night
You know,
he got
every
full,
night,
he fell
every
asleep
night,
again.
you know. But my address was still somewhere else.
So about 8 months in, Gregory proposed to me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say outside of yes, of course. So that was February.
By March, we had a baby. I got to make jokes, y'all. That's just me. You guys have learned me and figured me out, you know. But everything she said was true, you know. That's how it rolled out, you know what I'm saying? Like a carpet. It just rolled out like that. It was kind of quick, but at the same time, it was comfortable. You know, I never moved that fast in a relationship, but it was comfortable because I knew what I wanted and I knew what she wanted. So that made it a lot better. And the early stages in the relationship, she led the way. You know, I ain't gonna lie, she did. She led the way by doing certain things that I wasn't used to. Posting pictures on Facebook of us, you know, and just being very, you know, she didn't care about who knew we was in love, you know. And I was kind of a private person. I still am to a degree. You know, I didn't want everything out there until I felt like everything was 100. But I still continue with it because I still felt like it was right. It was just moving a little fast for me. But everything flowed just the way she said it did, all the way to today.
And so after we engaged, we planned to marry in September. We got engaged in February of 2017. We planned to marry in September of 2017. But unfortunately, Gregory's dad was sick first. And that same week, his dad was sick and hospitalized. That same week, my father was sick and hospitalized. And God rest his soul, Gregory's dad ended up passing away. And then we found out that my dad was diagnosed with cancer and had to move on to chemotherapy and possibly some transplants. So Gregory, we talked about it, and Gregory decided, he said to me, you know, if I had the opportunity, I would have moved it up before my dad passed. He said, so we might as well just go ahead and do it because we don't know what's going to happen. So at that point, we ended up planning a wedding for 2 weeks from the date we had that conversation. And this was in April. And we got married Mother's Day weekend of 2017. Like I said, it was only 2 weeks. Of course, the wedding was planned for September, so we weren't quite to the point where we were ready to just have a wedding. But just like Gregory said, everything was so comfortable and flowed so smoothly. In 2 weeks, we were able to, thankfully, we were able to financially do what we needed to do to proceed with a big wedding. We still had a very large wedding party, many people that came from out of town. So we know by the things that happened and the way things played out that it was meant to be just the way it was meant to be. And at the end of the night, we were able to enjoy our parents watching us and enjoying themselves, dancing the night away because everybody was just so happy for us, and we were more than happy for ourselves. So we ended up, moving forward, and now here we are a little over a year later. We've been married now for a year and a month, and we are still just as happy as we were on June 15th of 2016 when we first started dating.
The reason my husband and I decided to move forward with this show entitled Getting to Know Marriage is because since we've been together, even before we got married, we were fortunate enough to have a lot of people who really are able to glean from our light and love. Something I'm really not a out front person. I like to be behind the scenes and try to hide, but a lot of people, I've been forced to come out more since we've been together, out of my shell, because a lot of people just glean from us, which is a blessing, and a lot of people have asked us, because we are two individuals who were married before, come from two different backgrounds as it pertains to religion, a bunch of different stuff that we have managed to allow ourselves to still be who we are and move forward. And shout out to our friend Jasmine from 94.5, Star 94.5 in Orlando, Florida. When we went on our anniversary, our 1-year anniversary trip, we met her. They were doing a raffle for some tickets to see Cat Williams. And she said to us, she never even met us, but she said to us, "You guys need to do a YouTube channel." She said, "These are my relationship goals. Like, I need y'all to tell everybody how to get here." So at that point, I'm like, okay, babe, she's like the 99th person and we don't even know her. Do we need to kind of move with that? So we decided that we were comfortable at this point doing that, and we didn't want to do it prematurely because we wanted to be comfortable being 100% open and honest with whatever came up and came out. So here we are today. We chose the name Getting to Know Marriage because, ironically, about 2 weeks prior to my divorce from my last marriage, I released my third and final book at this point, and it was entitled Getting to Know Marriage. And I really was kind of bummed out that I got divorced right after that, and I was also kind of disappointed because I thought that people wouldn't want to hear from me because I wrote a book about marriage and got divorced 2 weeks later. So I didn't know how that was going to be received by people.
I need to read that book so I can do good in my marriage. I ain't even read it yet. I gotta read it. You hear me? I ain't read it yet. I gotta read it just for my wife so I can know what to expect from her. That's my arsenal, that book. Oh, she doing this? Let me see. This how I gotta get
So
it.
you can bring it back to me.
This how I gotta get you. Boo, in your book. What
This is
happened?
what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I got you. Hold me to it.
I gotta read it first. If you guys don't know, teamwork make the dream work. If you didn't know, now you know. You better ask somebody. You gotta have somebody that's gonna be there to support you. Not just to support you, but to beat it in you. Let's go, we got to get this done. You might be losing your drive a little bit. Eat some more weed, drink a little bit more Gatorade, get right. But that's why I love this lady. She is there for me. It's almost like now, without her, I can't survive. You feel what I'm saying? But I don't have nothing to worry about. We're gonna be here a long time. We're doing this. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna grow with us. Y'all gonna see us grow. We're gonna do this thing together. And we just love each other. And my attitude, one thing you guys gonna know, like I said too, I always keep it real. I always keep it real. And now my attitude is, I don't care what nobody else say. You shouldn't care what nobody else say. Because it don't affect how you live. You know what I'm saying? This the only person that affects how I live. So that's why she is in my life. She helps me, she guides me. She is my rock. You know what I mean? She behind me. And if you haven't heard, behind every strong black man is a strong black woman. And any husband, any wife, if you put it together like that, you can build all day.
And for me, when it comes to teamwork, I must admit that initially there was some reserves for me just because of my own past issues. So when I say reserves, I mean as far as trusting a man to be the person to take care of me outside of my dad. That's what I always had. So my dad was the only person up until I met Gregory that I would consult with, go to, that was there for me financially, spiritually, mentally, whatever I needed. My dad was that rock for me. And honestly, when I met Gregory, the thing that made me comfortable was that statement he just made about me not needing him. You said that to me. And my response was, in all actuality, financially, I may not need you, but as a woman, I do need a strong husband. So
That's me.
What?
I got it.
this is my strong husband.
My muscles.
Okay, so
My muscles.
what he said to me was, he said, although you are financially able to do for yourself without my help, I'm gonna treat you as if you can. So he committed to making sure that regardless of who I was, what my titles were, he was committed to taking care of me, however that needed to happen, be it financially, emotionally, spiritually. So it was like, finally, I get to see this from a husband and I can let my dad be my dad. So once he said that to me, and not only said it, but began to show it every single day, he was there with me through some really, really rough patches, and always positive, always pushing me to look for the positive, always encouraging me. When I first met Gregory, I was pastoring.
Boy, when she told me she was a pastor, y'all, I about got up and walked out. I know, oh snap, I definitely got to get my act together. When she said she was pastoring, I keep it real.
Tell
She
what you
said she
said.
was pastoring. This might not be what I told you before. When she said she
What
was,
did you think?
yeah, what I think.
What did you think when
When she was pastoring, when she told me she was pastoring, I knew I wasn't gonna get nothing. But that was my challenge, you know what I mean? That was my challenge. I said, oh snap, I ain't gonna get nothing. We about to see the day. I know y'all don't hear that thunder outside, but Lord, don't strike me down, I'm telling the truth. But for real, y'all, I mean, it definitely made a challenge for me to know that she was a pastor. Living the lifestyle that I was living. Not to say it was the worst, but being a pastor. But I saw past that. I saw past her occupation, or I saw past what she did as an adult. I started to see her as a female, her as a woman, her as a wife. And that helped me appreciate her even more.
And so those were the things I kind of matured into my position as one of the most, and I'm just going to be honest, one of the most insecure, successful persons ever. And the reason I say that is because I was fortunate as a child to have two parents and grow up in a home where we were loved, and we received what we needed as far as from our parents. And my brother and I always caught slack from people because of what we had. So as I grew up and I began to achieve things, especially educationally, career-wise, I always wanted to hide because I felt like it only brought the more success, the more drama it brought. So I was very, very uncomfortable with it. But when I met him, like I said, and we were on the phone the first night, and I was like, listen, I got two things to tell you up front, and I need to know where we're gonna go. And he's like, okay. So I said, number one, I'm a pastor, and number two, I'm a doctor. Because unfortunately, a lot of times when you are self-sufficient as a female, it can be a challenge for men to jump in and be that provider.
Look, I appreciate y'all tuning in. We're gonna keep this thing funky for you. We're gonna keep it live. We're gonna keep it real. That's the main part. We're gonna keep it real. And a lot of stuff you guys are gonna see and hear us talk about is what we go through in our marriage. it may not work for a lot of people, but we're just here to show you guys why we so happy. And maybe if you can take a bite of this and take a bite of that, whatever you need to fulfill yourself or to fulfill your marriage. You know, that's what we're here to do. And like I said, my name is Gregory, and they call me Mobile Mac. We at the Mobile Mac shop. This is what I do. I do the auto repair, work on bikes too. Y'all can reach me at 704-262-3412. Say that right the first time. 704-262-3412. And
The address
Lovely white
here
man.
is 2715 South Main Street in Concord, North Carolina. So please bring your cars, your bikes. Also, if you need a U-Haul, call us. We're here at the Mobile Mac shop. Guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns that you would like us to address, that you would like to hear us talk about, please send us your comments. You can send those to the mobilemacshop@gmail.com. You can also see us on social media. I'm sorry, y'all, my husband is touching me. You can see us on social media.
making me sweat, Lord have mercy.
Dr. N. McPherson is my Instagram name, Natika McPherson and Gregory McPherson. We're both on Instagram and Facebook. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time.
If you got any questions, hit us up on our Instagram or Facebook. And we're gonna get it popping for you. And also, if you guys want to be a guest on the show, let us know.
Yeah.
We'll get you on there. Peace.